I get a rockin' stone? Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I'm your host Steven, this is On The Shelf, and I appreciate you guys being there with me throughout 2020. I know that it's been kind of a shit show, and I know that I'm late. This is going to be my last video from 2020. I just wanted to sit there and shoot out this last video because technically the game that I'm about to talk about really had started in early access in 2018. It was released in 2020, and it's a game that has been introduced to me thanks to a coworker. Shout out to you, dude. And who has got me hooked on this game and has got me yelling in the middle of our workplace, "For Rocket Stone!" And that game is Deep Rock Galactic. Now, for those who don't know, Deep Rock Galactic is I don't even know how to specify this. It's a co-op game, but I don't really know what genre to put it in, right? Because it's kind of a unique game. It's a game done by called Ghost Ship Games, I do believe. I'll put it here in case I mess it up. It is a team that has so little information on them that I had to look at their LinkedIn, I think it was, to sit there and find out that they have right around 30 employees. It's mighty impressive for what I'm about to sit there and talk about, so buckle up, right? I had kind of heard rumblings of Deep Rock Galactic for a little bit now, but I kind of just pushed it aside, didn't think much of it. For those who are interested or, might want to check this game out, if you have Xbox, it's on Gamepass. Go download it for free. Give them some love. Show some support. If you can get the game on PC, you don't need a mighty rig to play it. But, if you want to just show some love to them, go buy the game. I'm sure they'd appreciate it quite fucking dearly. It's a game, like I said, that's a co-op game where you are... let me try to explain this. You are a dwarf who's in a mining operation, who gets to be you can be one of 4 classes. Now, granted, you can play all 4 classes. It's not like you're being locked in or anything like that, but you can play one of 4 classes, and you go on missions to go ahead and refine minerals. Go figure, you're a miner. To refine minerals and to collect certain things and whatnot, while trying to fend off the locals, as they call them. Now, the locals might sound a little racist, but I swear to God, it's not. It's talking about bugs and creatures and shit. And it is the perfect blend of any kind of Dragon Age / Lord of the Rings / whatever, Middle Earth type stuff with dwarves, right? Mixed with aliens and Starship Troopers. And that's the best way I can explain it to you. Now, if you haven't checked out and you're like, I'm interested, Steven, let me explain. Now, this is a game I've mentioned to many people that this is the best and probably the only good version of aliens, Colonial Marines type game I'm ever gonna fucking get. It's such a fascinating game, and, and let me try to give you guys some of my thoughts and my processes. Because, like I said, it's a game that's really unique in a way. It takes and borrows from a lot of different things and elements and stuff like that, and other games and other series and stuff like that, but it blends it together to create its own unique, beautiful vision, right? Now, Deep Rock Galactic doesn't have a campaign. It is strictly just a co-op game, but it is a game that you can play solo. They do kind of try to address that in a way. Obviously, there's different difficulties that you can create. Even starting out, there's 4 difficulties even starting out, where you get more rewards the higher difficulties you are. But obviously, if you're solo or you're not very good or you're very low level, you can do on those smaller levels and still get rewards, right? And you'll actually have a bot that you have called Boscow. Boscow can go ahead and shoot rockets, and you can mod Boscow out to sit there and have different things, maybe more revives for you, or can shoot more missiles or whatever, right? But it's a game that you can play up to 3 other players with you, and and you're trying to complete up to, I think there's 6 different mission types. I could be wrong on that. I'll answer that right here too. It's 5 or 6 different mission types, and I know they just added actually a couple within the last couple months, or the last month or 2. I think it's it might have been November, but it could have been December. They actually added a big update where they actually did 2 more mission types, and honestly, weirdly enough, I have never played a game where an escort mission has ever been fun or exciting, and somehow the team at Ghost Ship Games managed to do it and keeping it just, it's always fun. It's not a mission type that I avoid by any means. It's actually a mission type I enjoy doing. And that's crazy. I didn't think that was even possible. But before I get too ahead of myself, so obviously, like I said, there's like 5 or 6 different mission types. There's, and they're all very different. They're all very unique. They all do different things. They've all got different positives and maybe like a negative or two, but it's one of those things where like the positives always outweigh any of the negative. Because like I was thinking about it even last night. One of the missions that I don't want to say I dread the most, but it's just one of those most time-consuming missions, is to refine liquid morkite. Now, morkite is, a mineral that you are going to be tasked to get in a various amount of missions, but there's a particular one where you put these stations on these, these open like pits or rifts or whatever, and you actually will mine, the morkite, the liquid morkite out of those, and you have to protect the refinery as it's doing this, right? And it's cool because it lets you be unique in a way, because now each level is procedurally generated. They're all, somewhat different. I believe they're procedural. I haven't really played any that are too much the same. They're all fairly different. Now, granted, there's what they call biomes. Now, they're like different types of, areas where you might have like a volcanic area, or like a glacial area, or like a poisonous fog area, stuff like that. They'll also have, like weather elements as well. Like it might be rain, or there might be like, volcanic, volcanoes shooting up, or there might be like an ice storm where you can't see shit. It's just a blizzard. You can't see anything, which becomes super intense, by the way, when you are dealing with the quote-unquote locals, as, swarms of enemies, literal swarms of enemies come at you in your face, and you can't see shit. It's really intense, and that's where the whole aliens and the Starship Troopers, references come in, and it's awesome. It's both horrific and amazing at the same time. So, but it lets you go ahead and like utilize one of your 4 different types, your classes, to go ahead and create, your way, your path of trying to hook up these lines, right? Because you're gonna have to go over the territory, or you're gonna have to go through a mountainside or something to try and, hook these up. And then, like I said, you have to watch them. You have to watch these lines as they pump the liquid morkite until it hits a certain amount, and then, you gotta get the fuck out of there, right? Now, with each mission, you have an objective, you have something that you have to complete, in one of these 8 biomes or whatever. Once you complete the objective, you've got 2 objectives. You got your primary objective, you have your secondary objective. And obviously, it's pretty self-explanatory. Your primary objective is going to give you more money and experience, but the secondary is going to give you a little bonus, little boost, right? Even then, with each map, too, you're going to have, like, little hidden secrets, little hidden things, which is so great, because it just feels like it makes it really worth exploring all of the map, whatever map you're on. Because sometimes you're going to find an event, or sometimes you're going to find a random boss, or sometimes you're going to find, hidden equipment, or you're going to find, chests, or something along the lines of that, where, it's awesome. Honestly, it's awesome, because, you always feel rewarded for whatever you're doing, which is super fucking important. I want more studios, not just with like co-op type games, but even like looter shooter games, to take notice. It's super important to have a game in which you feel like you're not wasting your time. You feel like you're being rewarded for whatever it is that you're doing. And this idea of exploration it's propped up with the fact that you feel like you're being rewarded by exploring. You're not just getting like these beautiful, this beautiful scenery, even though you're in a cave, it's dark. You're lighting your way with your little glow sticks, your little, well, they call them flares, but let's be real, they're fucking glow sticks, okay? To sit there and light up your way, and you get these beautiful visuals. It really, like I said, really helps the sense of exploration when you find cool stuff throughout the world, whether it's like weapon skins, or victory poses, or dances, or any of that stuff. Like, there's so much stuff that they have in that just, it always feels like you're earning something. You're always getting something. You always have a goal towards something, right? You also have, you got cosmetics for your characters. You can make your characters look goofy as shit, or you can make them look super badass, right? It's whatever you're feeling. It's what's so great about the game, right? Trying to get back on track. Speaking of your characters, like I said, there's 4 different classes. There's your driller, your scout, gunner, and your engineer, right? Some of them are self-explanatory, some of them are not. So your gunner is a character that's going to get a giant fucking minigun at first. Now each character has 2 primaries, 2 secondaries, and a utility weapon, and they usually have their own grenade, right? So there's 4 classes, and each one has up to 3 different grenades, which I didn't know how they did it, but they fucking did. The madmen did. And you also have your, as they call it, their owl rig, which they, for the most part, they're all the same. They haven't actually changed that up too much. I don't know if they ever will, but they're mainly the same per se, with the certain upgrades and unlocks. Now, so with each class, with each gun, with each primary, secondary, and utility, you have mod slots. And I believe, if I remember straight, it's like 10 for each, for the most part. Now, there's a couple of them that are less than that, like the engineer. Its utility is it's a platform gun in a way, I guess you could call it, where it's basically shoots like this like sticky ball, and it like hits a wall or surface or something, and it'll expand to be a platform. And there's only like 6 slots for that, but still, most of the primaries and secondaries all have 10. As you continue leveling up your characters, so there's like 25 levels, and then you can promote them, I believe is what they call it. And you can promote them, and when you promote them, you get to unlock other stuff, and you get to more into end game stuff with like other different mods, like what they call overclock mods and stuff. But with each, like the first 18 to 20 main levels, you unlock all the mod slots for all your weapons. You get to unlock your second, your second weapons, your second set of primaries, your second set of secondaries. And like I said, each gun has mods on it, right? Now each mod, does a different thing, and there's only like 2 or 3 with, each line. There's like 4 to 5 lines. And, but what makes it really cool is the fact that with each slot, and they're all fairly useful. There's not one that you look at and you go, well, that one's fucking worthless, that one's fucking pointless. They all change up kind of how the gun performs, and that's what makes it so awesome, honestly. And I wish more companies took note of something like this. It's not as diverse as like Diablo 3 is, but it's a lot closer to that than like, and I don't mean to shit on them here, but like Destiny. Destiny is getting there. They're starting to kind of get it together, where like they're learning that, having this synergy with your mods to make it where it changes up how your supers act and how you interact with whatever it is you're playing, whether it's PvE or PvP. It's super important to give diverse builds. And here, there are a decent amount of diverse builds added with more diversity with overclocks, right? And that's what makes it so fun. It makes it so unique, right? Because of all these other elements that I've pointed out, but then also this, right? Because you've got these mods that make it where your guns perform differently. You've got overclocks that make your guns do different things as well and perform differently. And then that's not even touching on the fact that each character, you get to add a couple different perks, you get to add an ability or two, you've got all these different things. Some of them are passive, some of them are like dashes, or like, or like the ability to do damage back to enemies when they hit you. There's so many different varieties and ways to do different things. And there's so much depth in this game. And I guess that's where I'm getting at. Like I'm getting lost in my thoughts as I'm trying to sit there and point out all the things that they do right. This is just the preamble leading up to the fact that I'm just telling you, like, what the game is and how it functions. I haven't even gotten to the fact that, like, that's not even leading up to the fact that the art style is unique and it's fun. It's not super heavily detailed, nor does it have to be, as they're doing procedural generated worlds and they're able to add more content to it. I don't need a game that's supposed to look like Cyberpunk 2077 for it, but it still makes it to where, like, the game is still beautiful in certain areas. Like I said, there are certain moments where I had to screenshot stuff, or I had to sit there and take a little footage, because it's just, consider the fact that you're in a fucking cave, the game still looks beautiful somehow, right? A tribute to the team with their unique biomes, it's not super complicated stuff, but at the same time, I'm not saying it's not super complicated stuff behind the scenes. I mean to say that it's a simple premise, it's a simple concept on paper, not in execution. I just want to make sure I reiterate that, because I know that games like this are not simple to make. Even though they've got a 30-man team, you think, oh, it can't be that hard. It's not. It's super hard. It's not easy by any means, right? And it's very reminiscent of what made 2020 unique, in the fact that, like, even though the virus sucked and all the pandemic bullshit sucked, and, you know, getting Cyberpunk 2077 in a shit state sucked. It showcased how simple premises in games can be super successful because there's this element of getting you in the game and getting you enjoying your game and then loving it so much that you want to then learn how to master it, right? And that goes with Among Us, Fall Guys, Phasmophobia, and this game in particular. You know, this game is such a unique premise. You know, like I said, it borrows a lot of elements from a lot of things, but it forms it, you know, it takes all this clay from all these different things, forms it and shapes it into what we have now and serves us. And I fucking love this game. The sound design, fantastic. My buddy and I, the one who introduced me to this game, and has got me fucking hooked. I hate you. The sound design in this game is phenomenal. Okay? Kudos to you guys who wind up doing it. I don't even know how many of you do. And like I said, I know it's a small team, but you guys do a phenomenal job. The creatures sound horrifying. The battle music sounds fucking blood pumping, right? When you discover these things that I was talking about before in the world, the little hidden objects, the little music that plays in the background, you know. Even if you don't find it, you can hear it when somebody else finds it. You know exactly what they found, right? And you're like, oh shit, where's it at? I gotta get my goodies.
Got the feeling something bad happened here.
You know, whether it is, you know, like I said, some sort of customization, whether it's, you know, a customization for your character, sometimes it's color patterns, sometimes it's other, you know, unique things as well, you know, gun patterns, you know, other camouflages, like I said, fucking victory poses, dances, all kinds of stuff that they've added into the game, like I said, they make it where you're constantly getting new stuff. I don't know what the end is, because I haven't found it yet. Even though I've probably put in like 60 or 70 hours already into it, and I'm going to probably put in another at least 60, 70 hours before I kind of give it a small break until some more content comes out. But I think the other thing too is, and I want to make an individual video at some point later on, is this is a really great example of a quote-unquote live service game. They have gotten some backing from Microsoft, you know, but they've obviously sold the game fairly well enough. You know, it makes it to where they're able to give these big chunks of content to keep adding to the game. Even though the game officially released in May, you know, and even COVID's pushed back some stuff. I know they probably wanted to get some other stuff out a little bit sooner. And, you know, and to sit there and see them give, like, small roadmaps and not so much overpromise and be like, well, you know, keep it real. They're like, hey, this is what we want to do. This is how we're aiming to try to do it. But there might be setbacks. Or, you know, if we don't include it, it's because we didn't think it was up to our standards. I think it's respectable. I love it, you know? And there's just so many positive elements about this game that I could just gush and go on and on and on about, right? Like I said, I mean, this is the one game that lets me live out my alien colonial marines fantasy. And it's probably going to be the only fucking one, okay? And that's no diss on Alien Isolation. I had somebody bring that up in a Discord chat. They're like, well, what about Alien Isolation? I'm like, I love Alien Isolation, but it's strictly a horror/thriller type game. It's not Colonial Marines. We got Colonial Marines. It sucked back in 2012 or 2013. I think it was 2013 when it came out. It sucked, okay? I want a good one. I want a good Colonial Marines game, and this is the closest I'll probably ever get. Especially since, let's be fucking real here, like, I'm pretty sure they make alien references constantly in this game, and I'm here for it. I want them to make even more. I'm not going to be mad about it, okay? Nothing is more satisfying than having these bugs, these creatures crawling towards you, like if you like dig a tunnel and you're like hiding in the tunnel, because you'll get warnings. You get warnings when, hey, the swarm's coming, be prepared, right? Dig these tunnels, you're hiding out in these tunnels, and here come these fucking creatures come crawling in at you. You pull out your flamethrower, you just fucking torch their asses, just fucking shooting flames down there and watch everything catch on fire. It's amazing, right? And so there's just so many great awesome moments in the game. I can sit there and show clip after clip after clip of just fun times I've had in this game. There's just so much uniqueness to this game. It really lets you just take your wildest imagination and really try to run with it. You know, there's obviously certain limitations, sure, but like, I think that's also another really good positive to take away from the studio and with this game as well is that the people who make this game, they not only do they play it probably as much as we do, but they really do listen to, what we have to say. I don't feel like a lot of developers, don't get me wrong, there are some very unreasonable people out there. I'm not here to pretend or stick up for them. Fuck them. They're a bunch of assholes. Trust me, I know. They're the same people that come to my fucking store, they come to my place of business and tell me how I'm sucking at my job. I'm like, you want to pick up you want to help me out here? Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Fuck you. So trust me, I get it, right? People are always going to be like that. But I feel like a majority of gamers or people who play your games aren't all that unreasonable, and they just have ideas that they think, hey, this would be really cool. Have you thought of something like this? And it's not meant to be an insult. It's just meant to be trying to kind of give you a look from the outside looking in. And I feel I have to give mad props to the team because they could tell everybody to go fuck themselves, and they might be in the right to do it, but they really do listen to the team. Whenever they do their live streams, they really do listen, and they take in a lot of the feedback, and a lot of the big updates and improvements have been strictly because the people who play their game have said, hey, try this, or hey, let's do this, or hey, let's do that. And a lot of the things they have in the pipeline, with their roadmap, it's a little vague, you don't know, they don't have any release dates, and that's smart of them, don't get me wrong. But a lot of the things that are coming down the pipeline are straight up because the community asked for it. There's plans to sit there and add female dwarves. It's something that I feel like they didn't think that it... I guess part of them just didn't think the game would be as big as it is. And they didn't think about... I don't think they thought about it, but I know that from what I read, they're working on trying to do it, but there's so many customizations for the male dwarves, and I'm sure that they've got to, cross some of them over as well as create all brand new ones, so that way the female dwarves have just as many, right? They also want to sit there and add things like, a third primary or secondary weapon for each class, which is super hard. It's not something that's easy, but it's something that they said, hey, community's asked for it, we're looking into it, we're trying to decide which one we want to do. And with each one, once again, it's not only got its own set of mods, which, like I said, about 10 of them or so, 10 to 12 of them, but then you've also got your overclocks, and you've got other balancing things that you have to do to kind of fit into the world that they've created. And so, but like I said, the fact that the community asked that, hey, we really would like you if you did this, and they're listening, they're saying, hey, we're working on it, it's going to be coming in the next update or two, it'll come here sometime down the line, but, they've also got, more game types. They also hinted at another game type that they're supposed to be working on, as I guess, when they came out with the last two here in the previous update, they were working on 3 game types, but they kind of shelved the third one and didn't realize how popular these 2 new game types would be. Which, by the way, once again, one of them is an escort mission. I fucking hate escort missions, but for once, I actually don't fucking totally hate the missions. Bravo, because it adds enough variety throughout the mission. Yes, it's an escort mission at heart, but why it succeeds is because there's so many other moving pieces and parts to keep it to where it's always got your attention. It doesn't feel like you're just dragging something along like a nuisance, right? Like a nuisance, right? So it's great, it's fun, and like I said, it's a nice little twist on it too. So this is a good example of a live service game. This is a live service game, and this is why I keep telling people live service games can work, but you have to have a team, that's willing to really put in the work per se, and make sure they do the things right rather than just see the dollar signs, because there's a little bit of DLC that they sell. I realized it. I didn't realize it at first, but they do sell some stuff, but it's not a lot of stuff. It's a few cosmetics, and it's probably just to sit there and give them a little extra money in the budget to keep giving us excellent content. And I'm not mad about it. I'm not. I mean, I feel like compared to Activision and their overabundance of $20 fucking packs, I feel like half a dozen or so weapon skin packs is not that big of a deal. And like I said, it's just, especially if you've got it on Gamepass, you're playing it for free. So to throw them an extra $5-10 and get some cool weapon skins, I don't think is that big of a deal. And like I said, directly helps those developers. Continue giving us great shit, because this game is fucking amazing and I need more shit, okay? I haven't even gotten to the end of it and I want more shit, because it's just, I don't want to stop anytime soon. And that's a great feeling. It's been a minute, alright? However, there is one small negative, and I had a discussion with my buddy about this, and I think he slightly disagrees, but my one big issue, and actually it's like a part one, it's like a 1A and a 1B issue, right? 1A is the fact that the map, not the map design, but like the map to overlook and see where everything is at and where you're at, is awful. It's awful. I know what you guys are doing. You guys are trying to do like, it's almost like a retro like 80s. It is more reminiscent of like Aliens. I kid you not. Like when I looked at it, I was like, I feel like I'm looking at something that's supposed to be from like Aliens, but it just doesn't work, right? Because you can't zoom into separate areas. You can zoom in and out, but it's on your dot. You can't look at the whole map. You have to like zoom out, and then you have to kind of like twist it and then try to determine where you're at in comparison to where something else is at. And there's different levels. It's not like they've got like, it's not like how some games there's like, you know, level 1, level 2, level 3, and you can scroll through them, and then you have to, that, don't get me wrong, that map design sucks too, but it's just, you have to completely zoom out to see the whole map, and then you can't see where the fuck you're at, and then, because, you know, it's, like I said, it's more like this 80s, like, retro Aliens type design, so, like, your little guy is, like, fuzzy all the way out here, you're like, what the fuck am I looking at? And I'm not trying to totally hate on you guys, it's just, I hate that map. I don't know why. I just hate that map. I love the map design. I love that there's procedurally generated shit. And I love that, you know, with each time I load into a map to do a different type of mission, it feels different. It doesn't feel exactly the same, right? Or maybe it's just there's so many different types that I don't notice it. But either way, I love that, right? But if there's some way that you guys can improve that design just a little bit, I would fucking thank you. Because the 1B part of that is the fucking laser pointer. By the way, anybody who plays the game, the laser pointer is the left B trigger. You're going to pull out a little trigger thing or whatever, and you can actually use it if you're with Moscow to fire rockets, right? You also use it to tag enemies. But my buddy pointed out, and I don't know if it's in a tutorial and I just missed it, but you actually use it to pull out because then you can find your allies, because if you don't do that, you're not going to find your fucking allies. Their name's not floating over their head. You're not going to be able to find them randomly. You'll see like speech bubbles from them talking, their characters talking, and you can kind of follow. That's what I was doing before to find them, because I'd lose them and I had to fucking follow the speech bubbles to find them, or the explosions, because the sound design team does a fantastic job, and you can hear that motherfucker away, far, far away, like World War III's going off and your buddies are just fucking gunning down bugs. But that's how I did it until he's like, no, use the laser pointer and you can find everything. That's how you can find everything. And it dawned on me that I'm like, the laser pointer is infinitely more important than the map. It's like, you might as well even have the map because you have the laser pointer. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it's like, there needs to be a better, like, unison between the two. Like, a synergy between the two to make it where both of them are actually kind of more useful. Because, like I said, the map is sometimes used. So, like, okay, so you have your 4 classes, like I said before. You got Driller, you know, the Engineer, Scout, and Gunner. The Driller, his most important job is to dig tunnels. Now, sometimes it's for, like, the mission type I was talking about earlier, the refining Morkite, drilling, you know, tunnels through the mountainsides, you know, or to, you know, drill paths, or to, you know, make a path, like if there's a giant fucking wall and there's no way to get up it, to drill a path, you know. Engineers can, like, you know, put down the platforms, you know, gunners can shoot a zip line, and drillers just drill through the side, make a tunnel upwards, and pop out, you know, the other side. So drillers are really fucking cool. I like being able to sit there and just drill through the fucking rock. I think it's awesome. But to make sure that they don't fucking, and I did this one time, by the way, and that's where, once again, he had to coach me and be like, okay, well, when you do that, you have to utilize the map. I saw an opportunity. I completed the mission, all right? I had one other dude with me. We completed the mission. We call in the drop pod, right, to come pick us up. And this is actually, honestly, one of the best parts of the game, too, because this is where it gets really thrilling, because when you call in that drop pod, and you can, you know, the drop pod's coming, your little 4-legged fucking, you know, mineral box, your fucking mining cart with legs, okay, takes off toward to go get on the fucking ship, the drop pod ship. And that's actually really cool design too, by the way. They'll leave like little fucking markers, so that way if you're kind of lost or shit, what the fuck is going on, you can just follow the markers to the drop pod. That's great, by the way. But as you're running for the drop pad, man, fucking creatures are popping out of the ground. You're fucking all over the place, man. They're fucking swarming you. And once again, it's an Aliens vibe, man. You're just torching everything. You're fucking just shooting everything. Oh, fuck! As you're trying to run for the exit. I love that shit. Focusing back up on my personal story of failure. So I'm drilling through the wall because I see the drop pod. It's like 30 meters away. I'm like, well, fuck, it's right on the other side of this wall. Let's fucking get it, right? So there's even a spot, right? There's even like a soft spot of dirt. So like it's kind of like a signal to sit there and be like, there's a lot of visual cues, right? To sit there and kind of give you an idea of like, oh, wait, this must be where this is at. Or hey, this must be where that, and that's good, another positive. And so I was like, shit, it's right on the other side of this wall. Let's go. I drilled through it, and I drilled for like half a second and fell to my death because I plummeted like 50 meters into a fucking hole. My guy's screaming out, I can't feel my beard! And what does my teammate do? He comes to try to get my rescue. He's got, I think if I'm sure he's a gunner, so he's trying to zip line down to me to come pick my stupid ass up. And he like takes one step too far and he tumbles and we fail the fucking mission. So, but to be a driller, you need to constantly be pulling up the map to kind of make sure like, okay, is the tunnel there? Where's the tunnel? Because then you have to kind of like twist it and turn around to make sure you're not drilling above it or below it or, you know, to the side of it. You want to make sure you're drilling right into it, right? And so the map is super important, but it's such a bitch to handle. And that's, I guess, my biggest complaint about it. With the laser pointer doing so much stuff for you, now granted, it's not going to be able to see through walls or something like that, so you still need the map. But it's where I wish like there'd be more synergy with the two in some way. And I don't really have a concept to try and throw out there to you guys. All I can do is just put out a complaint that I wish it was a little bit better. And it doesn't have to be high on the fucking list of things to do. Just put it up there on the bulletin board is all I ask. And see if there's any ways you guys improve, because it's not the worst map design I've ever dealt with, but like, I guess after playing Doom Eternals and utilizing Doom Eternals, like, it just feels like everything's obsolete. I feel bad for saying that, but that's Doom Eternals was so good because whether you were playing through it the first time or the 10th time, if there was something that you missed, a collectible or an item or something like that, it would still pop up on your map and show you exactly where it's at, and you could twist and turn and tilt the map and shit like that to really kind of figure out where it was at, but it was so much more detailed and it was so much easier to see, and it was one of the best map designs I've ever fucking dealt with, right? And so you don't have to do it exactly like them. I'm not shitting on you for not having exactly their budget and their fucking staff to do that. But my point being though is I guess I've paid much more attention to stuff like that. I'm gonna wrap this review up, and let me go ahead and try to make sure I kind of wrap it all up in a nice little bow, because I'm fucking maniac right now talking about this game. Deep Rock Galactic. It is a dwarven alien / stormtroopers that is giving me my alien colonial marines fantasy that I wish I could have gotten a long time ago. It has great map design, game design, everything has great synergy with each other, from the mods, the abilities, the passive perks, stuff like that, the different minor abilities, the overclocks, all the stuff all works in synergy, and it makes it to where you have a great time, a fun time. There's so many great, unique, bugs and aliens, and I've only slightly hinted on that, but let me add that in there. There are so many interesting creature designs, and they're continuing to add even more. There's a lot of great creature design, a lot of, the sound design team. You guys do a fucking kick-ass job, alright? You guys are fucking fantastic, alright? From the screams, the guttural screams from the creatures, to the goofy fucking lines from the dwarves, for Rocket Stone! Did I hear Rocket Stone? Rocket Stone forever, brother! I love it, okay? You guys are dorks, but I fucking love you guys. I love screaming that shit out. It's great. Me and my buddy from work, we have such a great time yelling at our workplace to one another. So, and also yelling at other goofy shit, like, I can't feel the beard! Stuff like that. It's amazing. The visuals, the art team, fantastic job. From the creature designs to the worlds that we get to, these biomes that we get to explore, you guys do a fantastic job. okay? And you guys don't get enough props, especially since most of your shit is hidden in the dark. And that's not on you. That's just how the game is. You're a miner, for fuck's sakes. But you guys still bring it. You guys could probably go ahead and do half of what you do and still be appreciated. But you guys continue to push it and push it and push it. And I thank you guys for that. You know, all the different unique, you know, customizations, you know, facial features, different hair, you know, fucking helmets and whatnot, the fucking gear that you wear, the different gun skins and the different, you know, the guns and abilities, all that stuff. All of the teams together, bringing that stuff together. Man, you guys doing an excellent job. And like I said, if I'm being super nitpicky, and I am being super nitpicky, like I said, the one thing I wouldn't mind seeing is just a better map design and really tail it into where, like I said, with the laser pointer, because the laser pointer does it all except let you see what's like use the maps to kind of determine walls for like the drillers and stuff like that. Like I said, if there's any way that you guys could do more of a synergy type thing with that, I think it'd be super appreciated. And like I said, that's the only thing I have other than the fact that I just want more game. And that's just on me, but that's because that's a testament of how great of a game you guys gave us and are continuing to give us. And I'm apologizing here, actually, for not getting in this game sooner, because you guys have done an awesome job. I wish I would have been enjoying this game months ago. But I'm trying to rectify that here by making this review, talking about it, and obviously here praising you guys, because, like I said, you guys did an excellent job. And for that, as of the last game of 2020, what else am I going to do? I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. This is a unique fucking game, alright, that I believe deserves your attention. And if you're not playing in 2021, I don't know what you're doing with your time, really, because what are you going to play? What are you playing right now? Not much. So I honestly think, like, especially if you've got Game Pass, you know, go pick this game up. You know, and like I said, maybe go out and buy, like, you know, a skin pack or something like that. Go show these guys some love, alright, because they deserve it. This is a great, unique, fun title that, like I said, has completely flown under my radar, but not anymore, okay? I'm enjoying the updates that you guys are giving. I'm really excited for the updates you guys have coming out. And, yeah, that's it. Look forward to, really, that. It should be just now my most hated games of 2020 and my most loved games of 2020 lists should be behind this. And, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy those lists. I'm going to enjoy making those, I think. We'll see on that. We'll see on that, but
I waited for the night to fall in love. It's how you really know I fucked it up. But just a little lie is all it was. It's all it was. Didn't think for a minute. My intentions were so obvious. What the hell I admitted? You're the first one of your kind, not just one in a million. So we turn the lights out, turn the lights out.